Welcome to another edition of Rants, where I come on and go off about, well, whatever's honking me off today. Okay, sports fans, this is something we love to debate. Who would win in a series between classic great teams? Let's say, who would win in a series between the 1927 New York Yankees and the 1976 Cincinnati Reds? Who would win in a game between those Pittsburgh Steelers teams of the 1970s and those San Francisco 49ers teams of the 1980s? Who would win in a series between those Edmonton Oilers teams of the 1980s and those Montreal Canadiens teams of the 1950s? Wow, a matchup between Wayne Gretzky and Maurice Richard, Rocket Richard. Oh man, I'd love to see that. But those are some of the great debates for sports fans. Then, of course, you get to the NBA, and a lot of these classic great team debates, they usually come around to those 1990s Bulls teams with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, and what team could possibly beat them? Well, Golden State's Draymond Green, well, he's confident that his 2017 Warriors team could beat Jordan's Bulls. In fact, he's so confident, he even says it wouldn't be a contest between the 17 Warriors and those Bulls teams of the 90s. So wait till you hear this hot take from Draymond Green. This comes from CBS Sports. This is what Green tweeted. Quote, "I'm watching the 98 Bulls versus Utah in the finals. I can't help but notice our 2017 team would have beaten these Bulls by a dub and these Jazz by 40 if they're going to play these brands of basketball. And that's why it's dumb to compare eras." End quote. Now, this is something to get a debate going on which team is better, right? Well, it doesn't sound like it when you listen to Draymond Green's next couple of tweets. Quote, "Learn to appreciate things for what they are. Analyze the game and stop the unnecessary debating. Yours truly, the new media." When did Draymond Green become a reporter? Anyway, another tweet of his goes, question, "When they be comparing errors, are they taking into consideration the drastic differences in style of play? Regardless of the answer, it's very dumb to compare one error to the next." End quote. Well, Draymond, if you think it's dumb to compare one error to the next, why are you putting out these tweets? It's like, why are you going, oh, those Bulls teams of the 90s, yeah, we'd roll over those guys. Why are you saying stuff like that if you think it's dumb to debate these different eras? But what really annoys me is Green puts out a statement, makes this declaration saying, yeah, my 2017 Warriors teams, yeah, we'd mop the floor with the Bulls of the 90s. But then he follows it up by saying, it's dumb to debate different eras. And dude, that's exactly what you're doing. You're comparing different eras. And to me, he's doing it in a pretty disrespectful way, saying, yeah, we could beat the Bulls by double digits. Oh man, we could just smoke those Jazz by like 40 points. Hey, first of all, Draymond, let me tell you something. Those Jazz teams of the 1990s with Karl Malone and John Stockton, they made it to the conference finals 6 times during the 1990s, made it to the NBA finals twice during that time period. Okay, yeah, they did lose to the Bulls both times in 6 games, but you know what? They weren't exactly chopped liver. The Jazz had really good teams in the 1990s. Not teams you're going to roll over like 40 points or whatever. But this is the problem I see with a lot of athletes and a lot of fans today. Like, you can talk about different styles of play, and you can talk about different eras and the evolution of conditioning and scouting. But the thing is, these people seem they fail to realize, it seems to me, that no matter what era you're talking about, you still had really, really good athletes in all of these eras. And I think a lot of those athletes in a lot of these other eras, I think they were a lot more tougher mentally than some of the athletes that we're seeing today. And the other thing I just don't like is where you have these fans and athletes who feel they have to tear down other athletes and other teams from other eras in order to make their present-day athletes and present-day teams look good. And that just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work for me. And I'll give you an example. I am a huge Mike Schmidt fanboy. Growing up back in Jersey, I was a big Phillies fan. He was my favorite player, still is like one of my favorite players of all time. And to me, Mike Schmidt is the greatest third baseman who ever played. Now, even though I say that, I'm not going to disrespect guys like Brooks Robinson, George Brett, Eddie Matthews, or Nolan Arenado and think they all suck, because they don't. They're all great players in their own right. But I think Mike Schmidt is just a little better than all of them. And I will gladly argue that point with anyone, and I will give you the facts, or I will give you the stats and accomplishments that Schmidt had during his career in order to make my case. But Draymond Green, however, doesn't seem like he wants to debate anyone on the claim he makes, which just really irritates me. You make a claim, but you're afraid to actually argue it with anybody. So you just say, well, you know what? It's a stupid thing to debate. To me, that makes you an intellectual coward. You know, Draymond Green, if you're going to put out a claim like this, have the guts to stand by it, and also have the guts to invite a debate from anyone on this matter. And me personally, I think I would take Jordan's Bulls over the 2017 Warriors in any 7-game series. But here's the other thing. I think that series, unlike Draymond Green thinks, I don't think anyone's going to be mopping the floor with anyone. I think that series would be a really awesome series because you have two really good teams going at it there. I believe that. Unfortunately, Draymond Green, well, I guess he doesn't think that. But then again, maybe I live in more of a reality than he does. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Rants. Thank you very much for joining us. Be sure to like, share, follow, and subscribe on all of KYCA's social media. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Instagram. Check us out on KYCA.info, our newly revamped, newly improved website to follow everything going on in the Tri-City area for news and sports. Smash the like button. Leave a comment on this video. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Until next time, I'm John Rust. I will see you soon.